Yo, what is going on, guys? cebmofroz back here for another video today. Anyways, no, this video is not clickbait. There's actually a realm like in Minecraft now. And this video is going to be talking about reasons why you should actually give it a shot, whether you're a jaded player who doesn't like the direction Realm has gone in, or you're somebody who still loves Realm and wants something new and fresh to enjoy. So, the big first thing I'm going to cover, have you ever noticed that it's very, very hard to get people into Realm? With Realm, there's things like pet eggs, where you have to go and you have to get your friend to get a bunch of eggs, they have to get humanoid ones specifically, they gotta get heal magic heal, then they have to like die a billion times to get enough fame to even get it to be really good. So it takes them a long time to be able to get anybody into the actual game. It's honestly, in my opinion, one of the biggest shortcomings of Realm of the Mad God. I really truly think nowadays they should start you with just a heal magic heal rare pet. Like, let me put it to you this way. I streamed Realm of the Mad God for 5 years, actually I think maybe 6 years, and I was never able to get a single one of my friends, not one, to actually enjoy the game and get far enough into it to actually be able to do content with me. But in this, I've been able to get over 20 people into the game. 20! Whether they were people who hadn't played Realm of the Mad God before, or whether they had been, because there wasn't all these issues at the beginning of the game, and they were able to just get in and play and immediately do content with me. Then, the next biggest thing that really makes it stand out from Realm is think about how Realm is played nowadays. You just sit there in the Nexus and you do key pops all day, or you go into Discords and you do raids and just do exaltations all day. But this feels so much more like classic Realm. You just get to go out on the Realm and just do whatever. You actually aren't just sitting in the Nexus, just bored out of your mind doing a million key pops. Anyways, though, there won't just be a bunch of negative comparisons. There is actually some really cool things that make it stand out, like it's in 3D. And because it's in 3D, you can jump over a lot of the shots, and there's lots of different phases that involve you shooting up in the air, that involve you jumping over things, that involve the third-dimensional space. Then there's also some nice quality of life things, like you can see all the drops in the game by just looking at an in-game wiki. Or something else that's really exciting is there is also an auction house in this. That's still one of the biggest things that I don't understand why Realm never implemented, because it is so not fun sitting in the Nexus for just hours spamming trades. Honestly, it could go on and on and on about just how many cool, interesting concepts there are. Like, for instance, another thing is there's 2 abilities per class. Like, for example, one of the classes that I think is the coolest is Huntress. It has just boring old traps as its main ability that does AoE damage, but it also has a bomb, which is another cool thing that actually takes use of the third-dimensional space because it makes you fly through the air when you use it. And depending on the UT you have, it does different effects. Like, normally you have to use the bomb behind yourself to kind of propel yourself forward, kind of like rocket jumping. But there's another UT, for instance, that you can get that makes it where you just shoot forward, and it gives you invulnerability and damages enemies that you go through while you're still in the air. And it has no limit, so if you're in the air for 2 minutes or something, you're invulnerable the whole time. Not that that ever happens. It normally only lasts about 2 seconds that you'll be in the air, so you can get about 2 seconds of invulnerability, but that's not stretching it. It's more like most of the time like 1 second. Then other classes kind of give you a choice of things. Like, I play Necromancer, for instance. It has an ability of a skull that can heal you, obviously, just like Realm of the Mad God, but it also has an ability called Scripture, that instead of you healing, you place down turrets that do a bunch of damage. So you have to make the active decision, do I, use an ability this entire phase that does damage, or do I use the skull to make sure I can keep my heals up? And speaking of healing, which is one of the biggest things wrong with Realm of the Mad God because of pets, in my opinion, this game doesn't have some really stupid, overpowered pets that heal you for 100 HP a second. Instead, it matters a lot in this game. Like, it matters a ton. It's one of the most important stats, in my opinion, for survivability. And there's no support classes in this game to keep the game much more balanced. There's no priest, there's no anything that's buffing everybody, there's nothing like that, which is kind of strange, but it does make a lot of sense to keep the balance working. But because of that, the reason one of my favorite classes is the Necromancer is because it's one of the only classes that has an ability that can heal you. So actually, it's kind of crazy because I deal top damage a lot of the time because I can just stay in phases and heal the entire time, whereas other people can't, even though I'm not using DPS abilities or anything. It's kind of interesting. Other weird and interesting classes are like the Knight. The Knight just straight up has Minecraft, like you have to go up and hit the boss mechanics, which makes it one of the hardest classes in my opinion, at least in the beginning. It becomes just like Realm, where if you have enough tankiness, you have enough evasion, you have enough health, then you can actually survive things. Speaking of, there's actually different stats in this game. There's evasion and crit chance, for instance. Evasion just straight up gives you a percent chance to just straight up ignore damage sometimes. And then crit chance obviously gives you the ability to crit. Anyways, other than the classes, there's other really cool things too, like you can exalt UTs now. Basically, if you get UTs that you can't use, you can break them down to get shards, and then if you get 5 of those shards, then you can exalt an item to make it even better. Then there's other really cool mechanics in this. Every boss fight, for instance, can drop you a pet, and they all do different things. So like some are ranged pets that have piercing damage, some are melee pets that do things. There is heal pets in this, but even the strongest one from the rarest dungeon only gives you 4 HP every 12 seconds, which is pretty pitiful. Some people still are really into it, but man, I don't know. I still think some of the damage pets are more consistent because you're damaging every 3 seconds for way more damage. Like, which would you rather, a 4 health every 12 seconds or like doing like 30 damage like every 2 seconds or something with a damage pet? Ooh, also, I almost forgot, one of the really other cool things is there's actually a good tutorial in this game, and a quest line even. It gives you pretty good rewards, and when you finish it, you get access to weekly quests. And the weekly quests end up giving you a bunch of different random items and stuff, but the last one gives you a random UT every week. Oh, one of my other favorite things in this is there's multiple different game modes, actually. There's normal that lets you trade like you can normally. There's built-in hardcore, which is basically PvE mode. Then there's softcore for new players. You can't get everything in the game playing as softcore, but you don't die, and it's a good place to learn. Other than that, you can actually even make group Ironmans. There's a duo, trio, and quads category. And even guilds matter. Guilds in this actually give you stats. If you have a tier 5 guild, you end up with 2.5 of every stat extra. And there's different kinds of glows in-game for each of those if you're on the leaderboard for all of them. There's a category for everything. There's a category for duos. There's a category for trios. A category for quads, Ironman even. Right now, I've been grinding up so far that I'm very, very close to top 5 hardcore. But yeah, rounding back to the different game modes, it's actually super, super good for getting new players into the game having a softcore mode. Now, it's always been something that I've debated because I feel like it really destroys the core mechanics of a realm like. But I feel like because they don't allow you to get all the things in the game from just doing softcore, that it's kind of a good balance because it's really a good teaching tool for players because a lot of people just quit after their first death. So you could just feel free to hop on, make a short softcore, and like learn the game. Anyways, I can go on and on and on all day about tons and tons of features, but I think this about wraps it up. I really truly think anybody who enjoys Realm of the Mad God should give this a try, or if you stop playing Realm of the Mad God and don't like the direction it went in, it really is truly a very fun experience. And there's so many different things that make it stand out from how Realm of the Mad God plays. Just the 3D environment alone makes it so much different. So, lastly, I'm going to start making some different guides on this game, some other videos, a bunch of different things, so expect more content to come from me. Also, I stream 10 plus hours a day on Twitch every single day of the week. We've had multiple 15 plus hour long streams recently. It's kind of disgusting, to be honest. So, make sure to check me out at twitch.tv/cebmofroz, just the same as my YouTube. Anyways, this is Seb. It's been a good video. I'll see you boys next time.